Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth, and we got a lot of stuff to get to, particularly a lot of news, a lot of people coming back, a lot of things happening around baseball. It was, a lot of teams off. This was the first team, game back after day off, so a lot of roster moves happening. Anyway, let's dive in. Let's see what is in the news. Top news, been talking about it a lot. What are the Red Sox going to do at first base? It seems like they might have an idea now. Christian Campbell has been getting work at first base. So maybe he adds that first base eligibility soon. As again, Red Sox have been working Christian Campbell out at first base. Marcelo Mayer been playing a lot of seconds. So we might be seeing a prospect promotion for the Red Sox pretty soon, with Mayer coming up to play second and Campbell moving over to first base, at least in the short term, maybe long term, who knows? But something had to give with that first base position. Seems like that's going to be Christian Campbell. The Guardians are going to activate Slade Ciccone to make his team debut against the Reds later today. Ciccone, not a huge strikeout guy, probably not someone you're going after, especially because he's going to be debuting in Great American Ballpark, but he will be making his Guardians debut. After the collision yesterday, the scary collision, Carlos Correa is officially on the concussion IL, that 7-day IL. There was still no word, last I checked, on Byron Buxton, who remains in concussion protocol. So still some more news to come from that. We know about Correa, don't know yet about Buxton. The Diamondbacks have put Eduardo Rodriguez on the IL with shoulder inflammation. I mean, he had his great start, lots of strikeouts early in the season, been struggling as of late. They made a number of other moves. Joe Mantiply was optioned down. Scott Mago comes up, and Christian Montes de Oca was selected. De Oca is a flamethrowing reliever. He had lots of saves in the minors. Don't know what that's going to translate to role-wise with the Diamondbacks, but and again, just another guy with really good stuff that may or may not find his way into a relevant fantasy relief role. Following the Dodgers demolition derby on the Athletics yesterday, Osvaldo Bido, who's been acting as the fifth starter throughout the year, has been optioned by the Athletics. I'm not sure if that's just a move so they could get relievers for the upcoming games. I don't know how long Bito's going to be down, whatever, but he didn't pitch very well yesterday. I think gave up 6 earned runs, didn't make it out of the second inning, and he has now been optioned to AAA. The Pirates selected Nick Solak. He debuted with the team with a hit, I believe, in yesterday's games, but he hasn't really played in the MLB since 2023, where he got maybe a couple games. I mean, it's been a while since he's gotten any regular playing time, but he is back in the majors and playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rockies made a ton of roster moves ahead of their game yesterday. They selected Carson Palmquist, who started the game. We'll get to that in a second. Ezekiel Tovar has been reinstated from the IL, as was Tyler Freeman and Aaron Schunk. In reaction to that, Owen Miller and Alan Trejo have been DFA'd. Palmquist is a guy who has struck guys out in the minors. He's also walked a lot of guys. The problem is he's a pitcher and he plays for the Colorado Rockies. So, yeah, he did debut, gave up 5 runs in 4 innings, no strikeouts, 1 walk. So not a guy that I'm jumping after in fantasy, especially in redraft leagues. Tovar did come back and went 1 for 4 in his return and had one of the Rockies' 2 hits on the game. So already making an impact. Aaron Nola is going to head to the injured list with an ankle sprain for the Phillies. That means Mick Abel is going to make a start this weekend on Sunday. And then Taijuan Walker is going to take over the rotation spot. Mick Abel was former first-round draft pick, at one point very highly touted, until his walk numbers and his command really just, through the roof. The walk numbers and the command just out the window. It seemed like he's come back this year and pitched really well. The stuff is so good. I mean, he has a fantastic arsenal and can really be a good pitcher if his command is going to comply with that. So far in AAA this year, it has, but over the last couple of years, it has not. And so it's caused to the point where he actually dropped out of a whole lot of top 10s for Phillies prospects. I know I wound up writing a scouting report over at Prospects Live. I actually kept him in the top 10. I think he was 8 for us over at Prospects Live, and he's been pitching really well this year. He will get one start, and then it's going to be Taijuan Walker taking over that rotation spot until Aaron Nola returns again. He heads to the IL with an ankle sprain. The Pirates are planning to activate Spencer Horwitz. If you remember, he was kind of a main part of that 3-team trade that went down. He has not been able to debut with the Pirates. He should be doing that this weekend. He hasn't officially been activated, but the plan is to do that at some point this weekend, maybe stabilize first base for them a little bit and get a bat in their lineup they believe is going to be helpful. Jacob Amaya has been DFA'd by the White Sox. I mean, he hasn't been hitting that well. They do this in reaction with Vinny Capra coming over. They claimed him from the Brewers. Of course, he also was not hitting that well. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is an improvement, a sidestep, whatever. But also, Vinny Capra really hasn't gotten consistent playing time. He didn't with the Brewers. He's more of a utility player. He could play infield, outfield. I believe he's caught innings. He's played everywhere but first base, and I think that includes pitcher, if I'm not mistaken. So he can kind of play all over. I think that's how the White Sox want to use him. Maybe with some consistent playing time, he could hit like he did in the minors. He was a very good hitter in the minors. Seth Lugo is going to have his start skipped later today. He has finger inflammation. I believe it's his right middle finger. That means Noah Cameron is going to come up and make another start for the Royals today. A few more things to get to. We got some injured players on the comeback trail. Richard Fitz is set to start his rehab assignment soon. Don't know what soon means, but it's going to be soon. So Richard Fitz may be coming back. He had a great start to the year. Wenceel Perez for the Tigers to start his rehab assignment soon. Maybe more exciting for pitcher list fans. Sawyer Gibson-Long is going to be starting his rehab assignment as well. Gibson-Long will be taking the mound tomorrow, I believe. That was a pick for Nick to be a good fantasy option this year. We'll see what kind of role he can have because the Tigers pitching has been really good, but he is on the comeback trail. And also Justin Martinez for the Diamondbacks set to start pitching in complex league games this weekend too. So lots of guys who are on the way back who have been injured. Taking a look at some of the highlights from yesterday's games, Brendan Donovan continues to just hit the ball. Went 3 for 5 with a double, hitting .321 on the year now. And a couple, one former catcher, I guess, Wilson Contreras and Ivan Herrera had 2 doubles in the game as well. Just kind of odd. In that game, you have Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera, and Pedro Pajes, all catchers by trade, or at least started that way in the case of Contreras in the lineup. I guess you don't usually see that. Kyle Isbell for the Royals went 1 for 4 with a triple. He's kind of been a really good deep league outfielder, hitting .271. The only problem is he refuses to walk. His walk rate is obscenely low. But added a triple. I have him in my 30-team league. That's why it's on top of my mind, I guess. Sean Murphy with 2 hits, including a home run for the Braves. He's had a tough stretch as of late, and his counterpart, Drake Baldwin, has been doing great. And that seems like it's going to head towards a timeshare, but maybe he's pushing back. Couple of hits and a home run. Tigers offense doing pretty well. Javi Baez continues to apparently be the best hitter on the planet. What is going on with Javi Baez? I mean, he's just hitting the ball randomly all of a sudden. I don't know how sustainable it is, but he took a pitch that looked like it was above the strike zone, and he just demolished it against the Blue Jays. He had a home run. He's hitting .307 on the year now. Riley Green added a double and a home run in that game, and Zach McKinstry stayed hot as well, hitting a home run. How about Bo Bichette? Speaking of the Blue Jays, hitting .294 hit a double and a home run in the game yesterday. I mean, hey, Bo Bichette bounce back? I like alliteration, so I'm here for it. James Wood for the Nationals continues to be the Oppo home run king, hitting another home run to the opposite field. The dude just has ridiculous power. I mean, he just smacks the ball hard. And I swear, every time I see him hitting a home run, it's to the opposite field. And that's just not easy to do. And he does it pretty easily. And this one, I say opposite field, like it was opposite field, but kind of center field. Alexander Canario for the Pirates. He came over earlier this year from the Cubs. Or at least he was on the Cubs, and then now he's on the Pirates. I don't believe it was a trade. I think he was DFA'd, and the Pirates claimed him. But either way, he's been on a tear as of late. Over his last 7 games, he's got a pair of home runs and is hitting .417, including one that he hit in yesterday's game. Miguel Vargas, I talk about him all the time on the First Pitch podcast, had a double and a home run in yesterday's game. He's hitting 242, but man, it seems like he's slowly, if not, he just seems like he's getting there. He was a highly touted prospect at one point. I was never super in on him, honestly, as a prospector, but it seems like he's getting to something right now. It seems he's not the poor hitter that he seemed like he was at the beginning of the year. He's actually starting to see results, which is just super interesting. Speaking of guys seeing results, Pete Crow Armstrong, I keep seeing the arguments he's the best center fielder in baseball. I mean, maybe, possibly. He hit a home run yesterday's game. He just keeps doing the thing, and the thing is hitting and fielding and just being an all-around amazing baseball player. However, not to be outshined by any of the other hitters for the Giants. Wilmer Flores hit 3 home runs, including a grand slam, totaled 8 RBIs in that game. He was seeing the ball very well and just crushing Athletics pitching, which I guess if you count the 19 runs from from the Dodgers, kind of a trend to be crushing Athletics pitching right now. But Wilmer Flores, 3 home runs, a great game from him. Taking a look at some of the starting pitching from yesterday, Logan Evans went 6 shutout innings, only struck out 3 against the Padres, gave up 7 hits, but Logan Evans looking like he is going to hold his own at the big league level. At least he has been as of late. In the last episode, I said Corbin Burns might have an opportunity here to, get his strikeouts up. He's been pitching well, but he hasn't had the strikeouts. It's almost that we're like accustomed to from Corbin Burns, but he was facing the Rockies and he did the thing he needed to do. 10 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings, only gave up a pair of hits. So a solid outing from Corbin Burns. Joe Ryan also went 6 shutout innings. I think you're going to notice a trend. Lots of starters didn't really give up earned runs today. Joe Ryan, rather, 6 shutout innings, struck out 9, and he touched 97 is what I was told. That's good. Yeah, take that any day. Lance McCullers Jr. for the Astros went 4 innings, struck out 2, gave up 0 earned runs. 2 runs, 0 earned. He had his really bad outing, and things happened that shouldn't have happened, like him getting death threats. And turns out maybe it was just a bad outing. He looked a little bit better yesterday. Nathan Eovaldi, 5.2 shutout innings, struck out 5. But the sad face moment here for people who roster Nathan Eovaldi, 1 out shy of a quality start. So if you are in a quality starts league and you roster Nathan Eovaldi, probably not too happy about it. He came 1 out shy of it. Both things are me. I pointed to myself if you're not watching this on a video. Cole Reagan struck out 7 over 5 innings, but then he left after throwing 1 or 2 pitches in the 6th inning with groin tightness. I guess I wasn't watching, but I guess his velocity might have been down. Something didn't look quite right, and he left with a trainer in the 6th inning, and it came out later that it was groin tightness that removed him from the game. I mentioned that it was the battle of the former White Sox lefty aces, Chris Sale versus Garrett Crochet. And I'll tell you what, they had super similar days. Chris Sale struck out 8 across 7 innings, giving up 1 earned run. Garrett Crochet struck out 8 across 7 innings, except he gave up 2 earned runs. So I guess Crochet was outdueled by Sale, but by 1 run. Crochet did give up a pair of home runs. That's how he gave up both of his runs. Speaking of super weird stat lines, don't know who had them, but speaking of super weird stat lines, Mackenzie Gore, 3 2/3 innings, gave up 10 hits, but only 2 earned runs. He walked 2 and struck out 9 because why not, I guess. Shane Smith, also a super weird stat line. I mean, maybe the most White Sox stat line that I have ever seen in my life, recent White Sox. Shane Smith, 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, gave up 6 runs. Only 1 of them was earned. He gave up 5 unearned runs. And finally, on the pitching side, Dustin May struck out 8 in 5 innings. He did give up 4 earned runs, but a good outing for him, again, striking out 8. So lots of news, lots of people coming back, and lots of things happening. Some fun days. I mean, Wilmer Flores' 3 home run game, 8 RBIs. I still laugh when Eugenio Suarez had his 4 home run game. He only had 5 RBIs. So Wilmer Flores at least got a little bit of help. Of course, it does help when you hit a grand slam, I guess. With that, when we come back, we're going to take a look at some of the pitching coming up in today's games. Right now, though, a quick timeout. I appreciate you joining me. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you joining me here on this. Let's take a look at some of the pitchers coming up today. Gotta say, in terms of just names, yesterday was a more fun day for pitching, but still some interesting things to talk about in terms of what's happening today. First of all, Tyler Mahle is pitching at home against the Astros. Tyler Mahle has a 0.84 ERA when pitching at home this year. So, I mean, it's a trend at this point, right? Something you think might continue. Things are in his favor. He's pitching at home. I don't know how to phrase this one. Miles Michaelis? I don't know why I'm saying that. I really should be removed from the podcast for even suggesting this. However, over his last 4 starts, Miles Michaelis has given up 4 earned runs. Obviously, that's coming with not very many strikeouts at all. And he is facing the Royals offense. So it's not a guy that I would trust, but just I was looking it up, talking about the Cardinals recently on another podcast, and we kind of Miles Michaelis has been pretty good lately. That's where I'm at. Noah Cameron getting a start on the other end of that. Again, if you missed it, Seth Lugo is his start is going to be skipped. Noah Cameron's going to be doing that. Zach Gallen versus the Rockies. I mean, Corbin Burns just struck out 10 of them, so got to imagine Zach Gallen should be lined up for a pretty good game against the Rockies offense as well, which has been struggling as of late. Clayton Kershaw is going to be making his season debut for the Dodgers. Does he still have it? I don't know. Well, I guess we're going to find out. He will be on the mound. Last I saw, he was in his rehab outings, like living in the high 80s. So we'll have to see what happens. And now our pitching matchups of the day. I don't know. Like my heart is telling me to pick Drew Rasmussen versus Sandy Alcantara, but Alcantara obviously not been that great. Rasmussen had some really good starts early in the year, kind of a 5 and dive kind of guy. So that may not be as fun as I think, but that's what my heart is. That's what my gut is telling me is going to be the fun pitching matchup tomorrow. However, if I were to use like my brain and logic and stuff, I think that may lean towards Griffin Canning and Clark Schmidt in the Subway Series. That should be a pretty fun one. Either way, should be a good slate of games tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to you about them, or good slate of games today, rather. And I can't wait to talk to you about them. For now, though, I will see you tomorrow. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast.